Today I have a 2001 Acura RL. It's a pretty nice car. It's their flagship sedan, but does have a lot of problems. Let me turn the key on so you could see. Alright, so started right up, but that's not the issue. The issue seems to be just like Christmas lights. Every single warning light is on. So let's take a look at this. It's got 120,000 miles on it. Not bad. Out here, the maintenance required light is on. I believe that's not the check engine light. It's probably the oil reset or something of that sort. I'll go into it later, but I'm not much concerned about that. The one down here is the Acura specific code, something with the exclamation stuff. I think if there's any code lights on it, probably automatically comes on. I believe it has an amber color and a red color to indicate how severe it is. I think it's on the amber at this point, so I'm not that concerned with that either. So let's go to this side. This is what interests me the most. Got the SRS light on, the VSA light, the ABS light, and of course I'm not wearing the seatbelt, so ignore that. These two must be related. The ABS module and the variable stability control are the same stuff, so they use each other, so it's got to be related. I'm not sure if this is related to this or not. One of the other concern is that the rear brakes got shot within 3 months of replacing it. So the question is whether it's got a stuck caliper, or could the rear wheel sensor causing the ABS module to give a fake signal of some sort that the ABS is actually hitting when it's not supposed to and wearing out the brakes that way. I'm not really sure at this point. So the first thing to do is to see if we can pull some codes off this car, and we can hook up a scanner. But on the other hand, Honda has its own mechanism where Honda and Acura, where you could pull the codes off the car by counting the blinking lights. If you look at the video from Eric the car guy, he's a genius in Acura and Honda stuff, so I would suggest you look at his video to learn more about Hondas and Acuras in general. But in this particular car, the way to do it is below the glove box. Here is a little connector. If you just short those connector, it's just 2 pin. If you short those pins, this stuff will start flashing. So the check engine light will flash if there is ODB code, and the ABS light will flash if there is any ABS code. It'll do like a real fast flash and then a slow flash. So you just make that as each digit. So the slow flash will be the first digit and the fast one will be the second digit. Now let's go ahead and do that and see if there's any codes we can pull off of this car. Alright, so we are going under the glove box, and right here is a little blue pin. Usually it's tucked up here, and you can just pry it down. It's just a simple pin with like 2 female connector with like 2 holes in it. All we're gonna do now is short it. So I have this little homemade wire with both the ends. You could use any paper clip or something. So all we're going to do now is basically stick this here. Alright, I'm done. So it's got to look like that. So all I'm doing is shorting those 2 out. Let's go to the other side and try to get some readings off of this. Alright, I'm going to turn the key on to the on position. Let's look for blinking lights. Oh. If you notice, The check engine is blinking, the SRS is blinking, the ABS is blinking. I don't know which one to keep track of. All right, let's do them all. All right, starting with the ABS. Let's see. Let's count from the slow blinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 98. That's the first chord. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's repeating the same code if you notice. So anytime it blinks slow, it's the first digit, and then it'll blink faster for the second digit, and it keeps repeating. If there's more codes, it'll go in a sequence of doing that code first and then the other code. Okay, there it is blinking fast, but let's wait till it stops. Okay, now let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 7, so it's 87. So that's doing the same thing. So it just has one code, so it's clearly cycling it the same code again and again. So good. We got an ABS code of 98 and a check engine code of 87. Time to do the research, and I'll continue filming after the research. Alright, so I did some research on the ABS code 98 and the other code 87 that Acura puts out, and managed to find all the codes that what it means. But the bad news is there's pages and pages of code that's specific to Acura, but these are generic codes to Honda, but these 2-digit codes are specific to Acura. But on the other hand, the code stops at 84 and I got a 98, so I couldn't find a specific code for 98. So I did further research, I went on the internet and all the Acura forums and finally found a thread that basically said 98 means the VSA modulator or the control unit is broken, or no communication, some wire is completely messed up. So that's a bummer. Basically the solution there is to change the VSA module. The whole VSA modulator control unit has to be changed. I was expecting to see one of these so I could pinpoint which wheel sensor it is and all that. On the other hand, while doing the rear brakes on this car, it was obvious that the caliper piston was totally out of the seal. So I'm wondering if that could have caused this code, or could have caused this VSA module to go nuts and say it's not working because there's not enough pressure in the system. So the rear brakes are done, so hope that that'll solve this issue. If it does, that's great. If not, I have to go ahead and change the VSA module, which would be a bummer because there's like 8 brake lines going to it. For now, I'm running the scanner, and let's see, the scanner does recognize a bunch of ABS codes, the SRS code and the engine code. Okay, let's see one by one what the engine code says. Alright, say read codes on the ECU. So, cooling system malfunction. This is a totally irrelevant code. I know what it is. This is totally irrelevant, so I could just get rid of it once I read all the other ones. Okay, let's go to the SRS code. what I'm curious to see. Faulty driver seat buckle switch. So that's what the 93 means. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so I don't know if that's any related stuff. Getting back to, so I'm not worried about those two, the engine code and the SRS code. Now let me hit the ABS code. So it's basically what I suspected, that ECU unmatched failure 98.1. So that's what I suspected. It's unfortunate, but we will see. Let me try clearing the code at this point. What I'm gonna do is do a quick erase and erase all the codes. The reason being, because the rear brakes are now changed and the calipers are changed, I'm hoping if that was the culprit that made all these lights go on, then in that case I'll just try to reset it and see if it comes back again. That's what I'm gonna do now. And I have a feeling that the engine and SRS will be able to erase, but the ABS won't be. Reason being, there may not be communication to the ABS module if that's damaged. We'll see. Alright, one good news here is, after trying a couple more times, the scanner managed to turn off the ABS module light, and that is a huge breakthrough for me, because the whole argument is, it couldn't communicate with the ABS module, so the ABS module is in fault and I got to replace that. But it seems like the scanner was able to communicate with that, so it might just be the fluid pressure loss due to the pistons coming out of the rear caliper. So because the rear caliper is fixed at this point, I'm just turning off the ABS light just to make sure that if it comes back on, then we'll worry about the VSA module. Now the cool thing is every light is turned off, and I hope most of them don't come back. On the other hand, there's one light here, maintenance required, is still on. That's just the oil change reminder light, or whatever you call it. The way to reset that is basically, in the Acura you have two buttons here, the select button and the reset button. So all you got to do is turn the car off, and you basically hold these two buttons and turn the car to the on position. I'm holding that, turning the car to the on position, still holding for 10 seconds, and keep watching the light, and there it goes. That's it. So all you do is hold those two buttons, turn the car to on position, and keep holding till it turns off. So now let's start the car and basically see every single light except the seatbelt light over there turn off. Okay, the code 98 basically said this VSA module needs to be changed. So this is what it is. The brake lines come here, and the VSA modules split them up to 4 different lines, and they basically regulate the pressure and brake on demand whenever the car needs, when it's slipping or something of that sort. So this module made by Bosch seems to be the problem, and mostly they said either this entire wiring, there's about 100 wiring going right into that module, so it's either that wiring connections are corroding or the whole thing could be problematic. So usually this you could get it off of a junk, just this part, or comes with this whole ordeal. So that's what the code suggests to me to change. But on the other hand, it seems like the rear caliper that was the culprit. Changing the rear caliper basically solved the problem, because the old caliper had brake fluid leak, and that was causing drop in the pressure, which were these lines. So all this pressure loss basically confused the system to make it look like, you know, this is not working, but that's not. In reality, the caliper wasn't working, and that was causing this to go crazy. And after fixing the rear caliper, this started working fine. So that's a good sign. So all the VSA, ABS related problems, everything was related to that rear caliper failing. If you notice carefully here, right along the seam, right here, there's a mild crack. The radiator is cracked. So that's what it was trying to, I don't know if I can focus on it. Yeah, there's a little crack right there. It was bubbling when I first stopped the car. Unfortunately, need to change the radiator. So that code is going to come back on until I change the radiator. So got to change the radiator at some point. But for now, at least we know what it is. And the other SRS code is basically this seat belt buckle holder on the driver's side. There, if you open these plastic, there's a little switch inside that tells you when this is clicked in and out. So basically, you know, you do it multiple times. If you push in the seat belt, the light will turn off and turn on, and it'll keep doing it. But at some point, the switch will stay either showing it as turned off or turned on. So it'll just get stuck in a position, and that's what happened. And through that code, to fix that, it's fairly simple. You take these two screws out. If you notice the torque screws, these two screws out, and hit it with some compressed air, and then you'll see the switch on the bottom right here. Right around here you'll see the switch. So just spray some electrical lubrication, you know, for better contact. You know, just remove the little rubber that's holding the dust, and spray some electrical contact stuff in there, and that'll solve it. So that's what I did, and there's a good video on that. I can put a link on this video for that, how to do that. So if you have SRS code showing it as a driver side belt buckle switch problem, then that's what you do.